Hey there YouTube, this is Sean with Average Airsoft Player, and today I'll be reviewing the AGM MP40. I picked up a lot of World War II airsoft guns recently in a short amount of time, so you'll be seeing a lot of those for the next 2 months. Now let's go ahead and jump to it. I'll be showing you a picture slideshow of the AGM MP40 along with some statistics about the airsoft gun. Okay, so now you've seen the statistics on the airsoft gun. Yeah, I have to admit, it's pretty neat for $145, especially if you're a World War II airsofter. A note about this gun, and I'm pretty sure this also goes for the AGM Stead. Once again, unless you really like MP40s or you find one for a good deal, I would not really recommend this as a common skirmish gun. The reason I say that is, unlike the D-Boy K98, which just flat out sucks, this actually performs. It does have a low muzzle velocity, so it's more ideal for CQB. I've taken this field play, and my Cybergun Thompson, which would be the equivalent to this on the American side, my Cybergun Thompson outranges it, and also the magazines. There's only a few magazines I know in existence for this gun and the AGM Stead. It's a 50-round mid-capacity magazine. They sell for between $10 and $30, depending on where you get it. And also, you can get the King Arms 5 magazine pack. They hold 110 BBs. They're full plastic from an average of $39.99 to $50 I've seen at various places on the internet. Pretty much no high cap mag. So when you invest in this, realize you're limited strictly to mid caps and the ones you can find in stock, because it doesn't seem like there's many of these, because realistically this isn't a very marketable gun. It's a very specific audience for people like me who like World War II airsoft. But alright, let's get on to the structural, internal, and external overview. Alright, first off, the external structural overview. We'll work our way from the back of the stock to the front of the muzzle compensator. First of all, aluminum stock, which I do prefer over the steel stocks, which are really just low-grade steel, which is essentially pot metal. The chemistry in it isn't very strong, and it's very brittle. And unlike aluminum, where if I hit this with a hammer, it'd bend, pot metal just snaps in half and cracks. Alright, back here, you twist this to lock it up when you do underfold the stock. It's annoying because it's a 3-part stock. What I mean by is, let me bring it in closer, this arm is separate from this rod here. Same for the other side. This knob is separate from this. So actually there's 3 stock parts. 1, 2, 3. They're separate. The same thing for the other side. I have heard a lot of complaints where when the set screws fall out or the pins fall out, because some had set screws, some had pins, the parts start falling off and your stock falls apart. What I did was, since I heard about this problem, I removed all the set screws and epoxied it all together and then glued the screws back in, so I can almost guarantee you I'll never have a problem with my stock falling off. But just as a heads up, that is a problem. I did get this gun secondhand, but upon thorough evaluation, it looks like it was either well cared for or he barely used it. So it is pretty much in condition like if it's been used, and I do roughly know the history of the gun. So underfold the stock, take this, the plate itself that goes against your shoulder, twist it up. On the opposing side, push the release. It free swings, and you can push it all the way up until you hear a positive click. When you hear that click, it is locked. Just like all underfolding stocks, everyone knows is notorious. Even with side-folding stocks, sometimes there will be play in it. Same thing in the extended position. There is play in the stock, but it's nothing too serious. Full metal lower and upper receiver. Right there's the hole where your sling strap would go through. A replica Bakelite grip, which most people confuse this brown piece here with wood. It is not wood. It would be Bakelite. Would be, yeah, funny. Lol, hilarious. Not wood, Bakelite. It would be Bakelite. Get it? Not funny? Okay, moving on. Okay. It does look like the imitation Bakelite, but when you feel it, it's not quite the same texture as Bakelite. But it suffices. Since it's $145 full metal, you really can't complain too much. Metal trigger guard, metal trigger, which, like all AEGs, sadly have that really pathetic feeling electrical switch. If you guys ever shoot real steel firearms, you know what I'm talking about on the trigger pull. On the bottom is the safety, because I believe the real steel MP40 did not have a safety. Correct me if I'm wrong. I highly doubt it did. There's a little electronic switch down here. I remember it like this. Push it up, forward to fire, and then when it's back, it's off. Forward to fire. It does have a selector switch, which now moving up. Big light grip. This is the selector switch for semi-automatic. Now actually, when the switch is up, like so, it is in semi-automatic. When it's down, it's in fully automatic. Since it was an open bolt design, it did not have the option on the real steel weapon to do so. It was fully automatic or nothing. The bolt handle is metal, but after time, I'm pretty sure it generates play. When you pull back the bolt handle, the imitation bolt here, which I'll show you, cycles, which exposes the hop-up unit, but not jumping too far ahead. The rear sight here is not necessary. It's adjustable for elevation, as in it has two settings, which I'll bring it back again. Short range, you take that leaf. Long range. But, to be honest with this gun, as most people that get a little more experienced in airsoft, unless it's a longer range rifle, most of the time I never use my sights. Only if I have like some optics, I usually use them. Other than that, I just watch the stream of BBs. Alright, another thing about this gun, this knob here, I believe, was not on the real steel. I have to check on that. But if you pull that down and twist it, the upper receiver and lower receiver separate, which grants you incredible gearbox visibility. You can inspect it pretty well. I'll get back to it when we do the internal overview. This button here is the magazine release. Unlike the cheesy little Springer MP40s, which have a funky button, but this one is the correct magazine release. Push it to remove your 50-round metal magazine. The metal mags are 55 rounds and sell for approximately $20 on Airsoft GI, and I believe $15 on evic.com. Mags I've had no feeding problems with. Front sling hoop. This here, most people don't know what this little lub here is. I'm not sure the technical term for it, but it's actually a hook where if you were in a bunker, which let me actually use my truck now for example, you'd hook it on the edge of a bunker. See how when I pull back? So it'd help you absorb the recoil while shooting out of a bunker, which is a neat little thing, because I never knew what that little thing was, but it's a hook for when you hook it onto a bunker. Front sight is solid and non-adjustable. The muzzle compensator here is supposed to be orange, but I painted it black temporarily. I got to retouch it up. For you trolls who say painting your gun's orange tip is dangerous, very true. It is dangerous, but I never let this hit public. It's always inside a box or a bag whenever I shuttle it around, and I only play on chartered fields. The last time I ever played on a non-chartered field, bad story. I'll probably not explain that, but yeah. Well, anyhow, that is, oh yeah, that muzzle compensator is plastic. That's the only thing it's supposed to be metal that isn't. Alright, now that we're done with the external overview, let's go to the internal overview. Okay, so on to the internal overview. First of all, you separate the upper and lower receiver by this knob here, pull it out and twist it 90 degrees so it's offset like that. Pull the upper receiver off. And inside is a version 3 gearbox, which the beauty of this gun is it's so easy to inspect the gearbox. So let me clean that up, because there's like some steel wool floating around in there. Looks like a short motor. Also, it has UK Arms stamped on it, which I've noticed a lot of companies... I mean, a lot of UK Arms guns are just relicensed Cyber Gun, Double Eagle, things like that. Definitely, you could see, they say it's a metal gearbox, which is true. A lot of people say, it's not a metal gearbox, it has a plastic piston. That's not the gearbox. They are being true when they say metal gearbox. It's the gearbox, the shell, that's the gearbox. The gears don't have to be metal. Nothing else has to be metal for it to be called a full metal gearbox. The box is just the shell. But, internally, it does have metal gears and various metal parts, but as far as I can see, the piston is plastic, and the nozzle is plastic. And it's pretty much well-built looking. There's also a rail and under, I can't really take it out, but under the motor, I was looking up some diagrams of it, that goes up and holds the motor in a solid position. Sadly, in here, here's your mini Tamiya connector. You can only fit a small battery in there. I barely fit my 9.6 in there, which was a 2600 milliamp, I believe. I fit it in there barely. That's also up here. I don't think you can really see it, but I'll bring it in anyways. Yeah, you can see it. There's the hop-up unit here. It does have a very short barrel. It only goes from there to there. Oops. And accuracy, it's accurate, but it doesn't have much range. As I said, the gun fires between 300 and 330 feet per second, which is definitely not a field gun. I definitely don't recommend this one for field unless you plan on upgrading your battery. I am planning on taking this CQB airsofting since I already got a gun. It meets the FPS standards. Just going to buy 5 King Arm magazines for $50. But alright, that is the internal overview. Let's move on to the shooting demonstration. Okay, so now to the accuracy demonstration. I'll be firing 4 3-round bursts at the target. My semi-automatic is given out, so I can't test it on that. And as some of you, as experienced airsofters know, the accuracy does not change between semi and full auto. That only goes for real steel, just so you COD guys know. And also, I'll be using G&G .20 gram BBs at a target exactly 62 feet away. Yes, I did measure that with my tape measure, trolls. And alright, let's get to it. Alright, let's go see what it did. Alright, so here are the results. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 BBs have hit the target. So it looks like the grouping is pretty good. It's alright. And considering it's a short length barrel and that the hop-up bucking I'm pretty sure is older since the guy has used it a lot, I'm pretty sure, I'm actually impressed with the results, plus it's 300 feet per second. Now for the conclusion of the gun. Alright, so it performed pretty well considering it only shoots 300 feet per second and that it's an older gun. I'd have to say it's satisfactory considering its more purpose is for a CQB gun. Do I recommend it? Yes and no. For you guys who are serious skirmishers on field, I wouldn't really recommend it since there's not many upgrades and it's just not many magazines for it. But for airsoft reenactors or people who just find one cheap, well, yeah, I would go for it. I'm a World War II buff, so I had to have it, and I found it real cheap for $30, so I'm not complaining one bit. It's full metal construction, sturdy and nice. So yes, I do recommend it for people if they find it for a good price or they really like MP40s. Alright, remember, we do have a Facebook group. Search up Average Airsoft Player Television on Facebook and join the group. And remember, this is Sean with Average Airsoft Player, and thank you for watching. Hey there, YouTube. This is Sean with Average Airsoft Player, and today.